Ladies and gentlemen, this is reading from the book of Efroim Gurman, Smiles and Tears and Thoughts at the Veterinarian Office. This is the book, and we're going to read a chapter called Terminal Situations. Having worked for many years in that office, my memories have retained a number of stories which can be categorized in two opposite types. One in which animals are revived after the near terminal illness, and ones in which sadly are unavoidable. Here I would like to tell you about the behavior of people under such extreme circumstances. Each case is different, but some people react to those situations in normal way, or the one I would call normal. Others behave unpredictably. It's easier to imagine how these sad events will play out and everything goes normal. But the norm is not the rule. We have seen too many people face such trials in extraordinary ways. I choose a collection of real stories which I think might be interesting to read for those who do not have much experience in the memories as I do. And I propose that you took a look at the issue from my point of view. It's up to you to put your own tags in each story. Below, I separate the stories into two categories. In those in which the terminal health condition was resolved lethally, and I like to call this dead end stories. And in those miracle happening and the dying animal left our office alive, I like to call this welcome back stories. Dead end stories. You don't have to have a great imagination in order to understand that cannot save the life of sick and injured animals every time. The doctor is not God. He or she just tried to do her best. And life is finite, even if everything is done well to prolong it. One day forever comes to the end. An interesting thought. We all hope that two things or a four-legged family member will be with us forever. But to be together, it's always a temporary thing. On the other hand, death, the thing that we try to think will never happen, is absolutely unavoidable and forever. Usually people understand the severity of the condition in their dying pets. At least after doctors explained of the various problems, risk and low chances of survival. Some owners cry a little, while some others become deeply dismissed and sad. They assess their options, choose the appropriate sort of funeral, say goodbye to their beloved pet, and that's it. That's also the signing of the papers, seductions, and anesthesia and morgue. But in a humane way, to let a suffering pet go to the rest, switch off the brain, then stop the breathing and heartbeat. Some want to save their beloved animal until their final breath, while others can't watch their terrible thing occur. No judgment. Tears can be visible and invisible. Everybody understands that. The unusual happening will when people go crazy. Life after death. There was a guy who brought us a dead cat. It was dead already when it came to our office after our work. The body was cold and stiff in the death. Albeit the fact that the situation was obvious, respecting the owner's grief, the doctor explained it again. Please check his heart, asked the owner. It was gone, and the result was to be expected. The heart had stopped a while ago, and cat was dead. Okay, thank you. The owner paid his fee for the cremation and went home. The cat went to the morgue. The next day, there was a call from the same guy. When does the cremation agency pick up the bodies? He got our answer once a week. When was the last time you picked up the bodies? Just before you brought the cat to us. Thank you. Would you please let me speak to the doctor? Yes, of course. How could we reject the wish of grieving pet owner? Doctor, please, I know my request sounds strange, but can you please check if my cat's still dead? Last night I had a dream. Okay, please hang on a couple of minutes. I'm sorry, but your cat is still dead. No heartbeat? No. Thank you again. And the call was over. We briefly discussed the strange behavior and went back to work. The next day, hello, it's me again. May I talk to the doctor? Yes, of course. The receptionist's eyes were wide open, but she was professional. Doctor, please, can you check again if my cat is still dead? I have another dream. Okay, please, hang on a couple of minutes. I'm sorry your cat is still dead. No heartbeat? No. Thank you. The next day and the next day, no argument, no protest, just delicate request for a favor. These calls were repeated each day after the cremation agent took the body from our morgue. Just the day after the scheduled pickup, there was a call from the same guy who asked for the phone number of the cremation. We provided. Why not? Let them too have this pleasure. I was curious to know how they handled the situation, but later, after some brief thinking, I decided not to ask cremation agent what happened. We have a good rapport with them, and I do not want to ruin it. A photo to memorize a dead cat. A pretty normal looking middle-aged gentleman brought us a body of his dead cat for an endoscopy. According to the gentleman, he had three cats. Sit down there. And one of them died yesterday without any symptoms of disease. The man was worried that its death would pose a threat to other cats. It sounded reasonable. He opened the bag with the body, granting a couple of flies out of freedom. It was summer, somewhere around 90 degrees, and the decomposition went quickly. The endoscopy was done the same day. I don't want to remember the odor in our room where it was performed, but the diagnosis posed no risk to other cats. The cat was dead of the heart attack. 3 days later, the same gentleman materialized in our waiting room. Is something wrong with your other cats? No, thank you for asking. I just realized I had no pictures with Max. That's the cat that died. I'm sorry, but no picture, no memory. We tried to explain to him that after endoscopy and a couple of days in freezer, cat might look a little bit different. Politely but persistently, the gentleman continued to ask for the favor. Are ready to pay whatever fee necessary, he said, with tears materializing on his manly face. It took our technician hours to unfreeze the cat body, wash it, and to stitch it up and up. After the endoscopy, incisions, and in order to make it more or less presentable for the photograph. Anyway, this stuffed cat looked rather ugly, but the owner wanted to the last favor, a photo on his camera. We did it, and I kept the copy of this picture with me until the very day. In a very nice looking gentleman in a black suit, red tie, is hugging something furry. It could be anything from skunk to monkey to opossum, but the gentleman was happy. So what else could we want? Stop.